Hello everyone and welcome back to another video of mine. This time I'm finally back with Heaven's Secret 2. Oh my god, the excitement, the thrill I'm going through right now. I'm so excited. It's been 6 weeks. I literally cannot. Malbonte decided to let us go because of how much he loves us. He actually said, you can go. You have a little time before I kill Aragon, because he's not allowing someone to take the horns from the horseman. But we're gonna ignore that fact because, we love him. And Hunger decided to make an appearance to let Aragon leave, but we had to stay back. Now, do we mind? We do not. We do not mind because we got to stay with Malbonte. So we do not mind. I am actually kind of scared to find out what happens with Hunger, because I had that picture in my head ever since I finished the last chapter of the last update. I have the feeling that Hunger is gonna use us as a pet. Literally, telling us to sit down on his lap and sniffing our hair or something. We're disgusted, but we can't do anything about it. And Malbonte is in the corner and he can't do anything, because if he does, it would be showing that we are his weak spot. So I'm petrified to see his reaction when he sees we're there. So let me stop talking because I'm excited. I want to know. Season 2, episode 5. Hunger wants to spend time with me. They be out here playing with our emotions like this. What makes us alive? Emotions. Biochemical processes, consciousness, or emotions. I have the feeling that everything is connected. Now, if you ask me, I believe the only thing that is capable to make us feel alive are emotions, or opinions, or thoughts, or morals decide which emotion comes out, okay? So, depending on how deeply connected we are to a certain matter, or consciousness will evoke a specific emotion, which mostly it could be anger, sadness. So I believe the most powerful thing that actually makes us alive are emotions, because we actually do connect emotions with a certain topic, and that makes us think about a certain thing. Depending what emotion gets touched, we have a long journey in our minds. Are all of these necessary, or can we opt out one of them? No, we cannot. If you had to choose, which would it be? Girl, don't you come at me with that. Emotions make you alive, because if you have no emotions, if you can't show any emotions, then you're numb. And when you're numb, that means that you moved past the stage of being capable to control your sadness. There are too many negative emotions inside of you, and you can't keep them inside of you anymore. You can't put anything out, because if you stop feeling, you're dead inside. Emotions make you alive. Stop with this. No. It's been what the where are we? People, he put us to sleep, literally. He said you go to heaven. Episode 5. No, people, I cannot. What the... He literally said we're going up to heaven. Episode 5, the wide room. At first I heard an unbearable ringing. Me. It grew stronger, sending spikes of pain into my temples. It seemed that blood was trickling from my nose and ears, but no matter how much I tried to wipe it away, I couldn't feel anything on my fingers. But the gods had mercy on me. And as the ringing began to subside, my vision returned. I collapsed on the floor from the pain and disorientation, and got up only when I was able to see the room. He put us in a mental institution. Okay, I'm gonna stop. Everything was white. The walls, the ceiling, the floor, and the door. The lack of color was blinding, oppressive, and agitating. It made me want to close my eyes. The room is too beautiful for you. Hey, is there anyone here? Girl. I don't think so. My voice was drowned in silence, absorbed by the impenetrable walls. I tried to open the door, which of course was locked. I walked around the entire room, sliding my hand along the walls. Uh-oh. I made several more attempts to attract attention to get through to anyone, and then I burst into tears. No, ma'am. I tried to break the door. Honestly, at this point, use your temper, girl. Use your anger. Vent your anger. But it didn't budge. I punched it, kicked it, and slammed my shoulder into it, but nothing helped. I mean, I keep on forgetting that we have no supernatural powers anymore. Literally none. And I suppose that these doors have more magical powers than we do, so... I kept trying until I ran out of strength, and I didn't even notice when I fell asleep. I only woke up when the door opened. You little... When the support of the door disappeared, I nearly fell at the feet of the person coming inside, but I scrambled back. I always like to believe that it's Malbonte, but I have the feeling that this is plague. Oh, okay. Hunger, you little bitch. Hunger stood in the doorway. He tilted his head, studying me, then stepped forward and slammed the door shut behind him. He actually said we're playing pig in the middle. I'm cornering you and you try to stay alive. I silently watched him bring a cigarette to his lips, light it, and take a drag. I honestly don't know how to feel about Hunger just yet, but he's giving me savage vibes, and you know how I love savage men. You know how much I love a confident man. If he's got some sass on him, some attitude, he's just the right man for me. That's why I'm after Malbonte. Okay, I'm gonna stop. In the silence of the room, the click of the lighter sounded so loud that I flinched. Bitch, you... Sometimes I cannot with all these reactions. Do you like it here? Bitch, you locked me in a room. These are the type of rooms that you see in movies when you get locked up in a mental institution. Like they bring some sort of jacket and they wrap you in it so that you can't be a harm to anyone, nor to yourself. Do you like it here? His tone didn't seem mocking, and yet I couldn't help but feel mocked. No! Understood. He exhaled the smoke and it swirled, taking on weirdly precise human forms. How long are you going to keep me here? I don't know. I haven't decided yet. What is this expression he has? Honestly, people, at this point, he will know. Malbonte will know that we're here. I'm scared. I'm scared to see his reaction. He came very close to me. I pressed against the wall and stood up on my toes as if that could help me avoid contact with him. Girl. I think he loves the fact that we're immune to his powers. Since everyone falls asleep or loses consciousness as soon as they have a close impact with him, he finds us even more intriguing. Since his impact doesn't have any effect on us, he wants to use this opportunity to get closer to another human body. Because every single person, even his siblings, like we saw that in episode 3, I think. No, that was episode 2. Plague told her brother to move away from her because she felt herself growing weaker. So every single person around him collapses as soon as they meet him. And we're the only person, I would say in forever, that doesn't feel his impact. So he wants to use this opportunity to get close to another human body. I'm just saying. But the horseman didn't use force. He held out his open hand instead. What are you trying to do here? Give me your hand. No. Why? Just give me your hand. No! You locked me in a damn room! Why would I give you my hand? I could hear impatience in his voice, and deciding not to tempt fate complied with his request. Like I said, he wants to feel human impact because nobody is actually capable to do that. They all just lose consciousness as soon as he gets too close to them. So no one actually was capable to be that close to him for him to be capable to touch them. As soon as our palms touched, Hunger closed his eyes. His lips stretched into a smile. He never had human contact. I kind of feel bad for him. I love this. And then he pulled away, took another puff, and went to the other side of the room. He sat down on the floor and gestured for me to do the same. He's a horseman. What did we expect? I slipped down the wall without taking my eyes off him. Ordinary mortals faint when I'm around, but you're not human. I take strength from immortals, but that doesn't happen with you either. Maybe that's the point. Has my weakness become a strength? Technically, what he's trying to say is that we're both. We are not human anymore, so we don't faint when he's around. But we're not immortal either, because immortals have powers inside of them. And as soon as hunger is close to them, he draws from their strength. But since we don't have any supernatural powers, or let's just say in this universe, immortal powers inside of us, he can't siphon any powers from us. So we're technically immune. It's not a weakness, it's a peculiarity. His face became haggard again from weariness and boredom. Yeah. You're the first person I can have a real talk with. Hunger extinguished the cigarette, almost angrily pressing it into the floor, threw it aside and looked at you. It hurts me, because no one should have to go through that. I have to say this. Alice portrays all of these horsemen with a different psychological issue. I'm gonna call it like this. I'm not saying that they are crazy or demented. I mean, depending on what they do, like, let's be real here. But what I'm trying to say, she presents horsemen that are capable to bring chaos and destruction onto earth and heaven, but she shows that they have human problems, as in also they suffer loneliness, they suffer sadness, anger. All of these emotions are considered human. They're considered humanity. The horsemen, shouldn't the horsemen be that powerful, that above humans and immortals, that they don't actually have to deal with those things? I mean, you would assume that it's like that. But Alice says, no, they are insanely powerful, but they have something that connects them with humans. Emotions, they also have this problem. Hunger suffers loneliness. So does war. As soon as war is close to someone, they feel this insane rage. And like, he can't have a normal talk with them. And in a certain sense, I would assume that he also feels guilty, because we kind of saw that side of war. He feels guilty and lonely because he inspires those emotions inside of other people. But he can't do anything about it. And the same thing is with hunger. I actually feel bad. And what do you want to talk about? He grinned caustically, swallowing the bitterness of the thousand of years he had lived. I haven't decided if I need it yet. Excuse you? Does Plague know I'm here? No. Oh! I'm so sorry. I feel bad for Hunger. He actually doesn't have anyone he can get close to, so he used us not being capable to be infected by his powers as some sort of escape way. He didn't tell anyone that we're here in this room because he didn't want anyone to know. He just wanted someone to talk to. That's sad. I feel bad. No. And war? Hunger smiled sarcastically. War? Oh yeah, he still hasn't been able to recover from your last battle. You could have killed him, but you spared him. He laughed softly. Stupid naive puppy. Is that what you were aiming for? Ha. I didn't kill him because... He raised his hand a little more sharply than usual and said, I don't want to talk about my brother. Ooh. Does anyone else know where I am? Do you happen to be rescued? It won't happen. I shuddered in horror at the thought of being locked away forever. It's Hunger's personal pet for him to talk to, play with, or worse, to do with whatever he wanted, whenever he wanted. Now this is considered with sex. After all, I was the only living being able to stand next to him and not lose consciousness. And for him, I was a toy, same as for Plague. I began to breathe heavily, nervously, mentally going over how I might scratch his face off. I mean, at this point, let's be real, we can understand her frustrations. Like, he's like, you're gonna stay here forever. The horseman watched me with interest, and then, as if having guessed my thoughts, calmly said, It would be nice to have you if ever relieve my boredom. But not mine. I decided to remain silent, hoping that my company would bore him no less than loneliness. But Hunger seemed amused. He smiled wryly again. You have the opportunity to speak with a horseman. Would you like to take advantage of it? No. I'm having the short end of the stick. You can leave whenever you want. If I try to leave, you're just gonna, I don't know, knock me out like you did before.
Just know that I won't answer all your questions. Ask wisely.
And there it was again, an expression dripping with disdainful indifference to his surroundings. What should I ask? What is the relationship like between the horsemen? Hunger was silent, staring blankly ahead for a few moments before he said in a somewhat arrogant tone,
Blake craves love and acceptance, desperately trying to prove her worth, but it's ridiculous. Whereas mother's failed attempt at making a great warrior.
Damn!
Instead, he turned out to be a naive fool who suffers from his own power.
Wow.
That is the perfect watchdog.
Damn!
There is nothing of a living creature in him.
Damn. What about you? He sharply pressed his lips together, hesitated, then said,
You asked about our relationship, so here's my answer. We don't have one.
That's sad. So technically, they are siblings, but they're not. Oh no, nothing like the Vampire Diaries, always and forever. What should I ask? What is she like, the mother of life? What will happen when the mother of life comes? Hunger spun a pack of cigarettes in his hands.
You will be destroyed. Mother only wants to spare her children. She's unhappy with Sifa and Sifa Malam's creations.
Damn!
She's mad at them and she wants to punish them.
But why?
Her main creation was a shell, but they attacked it and must pay the price.
I don't understand.
You don't have to. You're just a cog in a huge machine. Nobody expects you to see the whole picture.
He said that Sifa and Sifa Malam attack the Mother of Life's shell, and that's why they have to pay the price, as in their creations. What is she like, the Mother of Life? Hunger sighed as if I had asked a very stupid question.
That's enough out of you.
Ooh, I'm so good. He got up.
I have to go.
Wait, are you just going to leave me here? Again, we're going through the same thing as back then. He doesn't care if he leaves you here.
Yes.
But
I'll be right back.
Uh-oh. The horseman slammed the door behind him, leaving me completely alone again, surrounded by those wide, sterile walls. Ah! I screamed at the top of my lungs, clenching my fists until they hurt. But no one hurt me. I mean, I'm pretty sure that this room is soundproof. I didn't know how much time had passed. I was either pacing back and forth like a caged animal, lying on the floor, staring at the ceiling, immersing myself in thought, or screaming again and knocking on the door hysterically. When I fell asleep and when I woke up, then I fell asleep, and when I woke up, there was a tray of food next to me. I ate through the tray against the wall. You can throw the empty plate at the wall. I ate. Girl, you need to eat. If you're gonna be in the situation, may as well. You can't leave Malbonte alone. We need to see him. I needed strength to get out of there. The next time I woke up, there was a pile of clothes and comb near the door. So caring. Honestly, I love it when she's like this. She's like so caring. As in, you could actually hear the sarcastic in her voice. But honestly, she needed a dose of reality. Learn to put your priorities straight. I threw off my stinking clothes and put on clean ones. She needs to take a shower. What's new clothes gonna do if you don't take a shower? You're still gonna stink. Huh. Choose all of them? I don't know. I'm gonna go with this one. It looks like a cute little gown. Should I choose another outfit? No, stop at this one. Go with this one. Go with the bright. Stop at this one. Bye-bye. I'm gonna stop. My imprisonment was long, or so it seemed. Hunger came by from time to time. We hardly spoke. He seemed to enjoy the very idea of having someone feel normal around him, that he could play the role of an ordinary mortal whose presence didn't bring pain and suffering. I thought a lot about him and the horsemen in general. They were all drawn to us in some way. What I said back in the day, it felt like their world was devoid of life, which was ironic considering who their mother was. Before long, I stopped screaming and feeling sorry for myself and started practicing. Remembering my training with Erican, I ran, did push-ups, stretched my wings, and practiced techniques. I couldn't lose my form. During one of those training sessions, the door handle turned. Yeah! I'm so sorry. With strong enough relationships, you'll have the opportunity to unlock a scene with Lucifer, Malbonte, or Astaroth. The choice is yours. Oh, people, I have 4. Oh my gosh, I want to see them all. I want to see them all. I want to see them all, actually. I can have it with war. No, I can't though, because this is the Malbonte version. I knew I started something I can't finish. I froze in anticipation of the visitor. Malbonte opened the door. It's Malbonte for me till the end of time. He quickly looked me over for injuries. His penetrating gaze made me feel naked and exposed. What? I'm so sorry. The excitement. Just like an X-ray, Malbonte could see my aura, my empty cup of power, and my surprised expression. It took a few brisk steps forward.
How are you?
I'm happy now that I see you. Instead of answering, I stepped toward him and rested my forehead on his chest. Me! A moment later, he touched the back of my head.
Hunger brought me here and hoped that you'd be more accommodating to him.
Right. Nah, he knew. I can't anymore. I'm so sorry. I don't know what to do.
I understand what that means.
Giving in. No, ma'am. And no, sir. It's you till the end of time. He won't let me go. Malbonte stepped back and walked around the room, carefully examining every corner. He won't. He actually won't.
There's no getting out of here. This room doesn't exist.
Huh? How is that possible?
I don't know yet.
I love this expression. He looked at me in a serious, even slightly dangerous way that made me want to shrink away. Honestly, the more he looks at me like this, the more I'm feeling turned on. I don't know about you guys.
When the time is right, I'll have to force you to open the seal.
Wow. Okay. Okay, sir. Whatever you say.
I will do it.
He came closer. Just that I understand correctly. If someone opens the seal, they're dead? How do people even open the seal? How is someone capable to open the seal? What do they do? Blood sacrifice? How do people even open that seal? He came closer.
But I promise.
Malbonte ran the pad of his thumb over my lip. Sorry.
I promise that after this, I'll kiss the horseman with my own hands. Nobody will touch you.
I'm so sorry. I'm gonna need a few minutes. Sir, if you force me to open the seal, I will die, technically, because we do know what happened to the baby. That baby was capable to open a seal, but it was close to death. If you force our hand and force us to open the seal, we will die. Like, I don't understand. Do you want to release the mother of life?
I don't want to. I will.
He pressed his lips to mine, opening them with his tongue and pushing inside insistently, possessively. You know, these are these moments that I don't understand. You're telling me that you will hurt me, and then you kiss me. What is this? Honestly, I feel bad for Malbonte, because he has the feeling that this right now is the only way he can go. And he is like, no one will touch you, but he doesn't see that the only person that can actually hurt us is him. We love him. And the only person that is capable to like actually hurt us would be him. Him saying that he will force us to open the seal is literally like him saying, I will be the one that will have to end your life. Like, imagine this person you're in love with someone you can't imagine your life without, telling you that they will kill you or that they will contribute to the fact that you will die. That brings us back to the reflection of last episode when the MC said, will it be enough for me to know that his hands will tremble when his blade will be at my throat? That's literally such a beautiful comeback here. I don't know what to do. I actually don't know what to do. I think the worst thing is for Malbonte, because he's like trying to act like nothing touches him, that he knows that he will hurt us in the process of destroying his enemies, but he's still not capable to let us go completely. It's like, I know that I will have to let you go, because technically that will be torture, us opening the seal. I don't know how it is, but I don't think that it's pleasant to open the seal, because if it would be easy to open the seal, and it's not. So he's literally fighting the fact that he's in love with someone that he has to torture. He has to torment us in order to help his enemies. That's a lot of conflicting emotions that he's going through right now. I wrapped my arms around his neck, submissive and meek. I reciprocated his hungry passion with everything I had. His smell, his power that seemed to overflow and course through my veins, his persistence, it all became dear and close, as if it belonged to me. Malbonte broke off the kiss and asked me in a hoarse voice,
what does he want from you? Only communication?
Ooh! So sorry. This is jealousy. This is jealousy. Because he is like, what does he want from you exactly, huh? Only communication? Or did he make some moves on you? Remember that you're mine. I literally just marked my territory. It seems so.
Good.
That's jealousy, people. That's jealousy.
Good. The strength lies in the weakness of others. Don't be afraid of him.
Will you leave me here? It's not like he has a choice, baby. Oh no! It's the face. It's the new face here for me. No, it's the sad face for me.
I can't get you out. Sorry.
I feel bad for him, because this is the last thing he wanted. Us to be at the mercy of a horseman. That's why he was like, leave and get out of here. Because he knew that this was gonna happen sooner or later, but he preferred it to not happen at all. This is literally his worst nightmare. He told us to leave so that we wouldn't end up in this situation. And now he has to witness this. He has to leave us at the mercy of a horseman. And he's literally the one that knows how dangerous they are. He's literally living that danger every single day. I feel so bad for him. He shrugged.
But I'll keep an eye on him. Soon he'll have to give you up.
Uh-huh. Malbonte clenched his jaw and added,
and after that, no one else will take you away.
Ooh! I'm so sorry. That's a promise. You can see it in his gaze. It's a promise. He's like, after that, no one will take you away from me. You're the only one Malbonte cares about. No! I feel so bad. I feel so sad. I'm so intrigued to know how the other roots are going in this scene. Does hunger know about us? Oh, it's an us. It's an us. Malbonte said nothing, as if he himself didn't know what exactly was happening between us. I'm literally, people, I love this. Malbonte, you can play with me. I already understood. As if there could be no us at that point. The battlefield was no place for love. But would he ever have a place for it? Won't you have problems?
No.
Technically, it's like this. He can care or love anyone he wants, as long as he still does the horseman's bidding at the end of the day. That's technically what it's coming down to. The horsemen are like, I don't care who you care about, but if I tell you to kill them, without hesitation. Malbonte again fixed his pensive, piercing gaze on me. He squeezed my hand, saying goodbye in his own way. No! I'm so sorry. No! He seemed to be conducting an internal dialogue, not revealing his hidden thoughts and feelings. It was as if he was solving an equation, the result of which would help reveal what was inside him. Leaving already?
Yes.
And here I can say why he's leaving so fast. Because this is literally him saying, I let myself go. I gave in to temptation. I gave in to you. But I have to gather myself because it can't happen. If I stay too long, I won't want to leave. I won't be capable to carry out what I have to do in order to destroy the horsemen. So if I stay here, the temptation of wanting you next to me now will be too strong. I have to leave. It's literally for my sanity. Even though we know he's not gonna be happy either way, no matter when he leaves. Malbonte slowly and reluctantly released me. He walked away, turning before he left, and without another word, closed the door behind him. This destroyed me more. He should have stayed away. This destroyed me more. Me! Come back soon, Malbonte. People, I died. People, I died. Who died with me? I was alone again. People, I'm done. This is nervous laughter. He turned us on and left. When you're surrounded by four walls for a long time, dreams became brighter, as if your brain is desperately clinging to the outside world. Try not to forget it. Colors are richer, emotions burst more painfully into billions of shades, and tactile sensations get cranked up to the max. I could feel the way I was twisting and turning, hitting my elbows, knees, and the back of my head against the floor, but I couldn't do anything to stop it. The dream took possession of me and wouldn't let go. Not again, Sifamalam. Sifamalam wandered around, no different from other ghosts. His body had become noticeably thinner, almost transparent. It looked like the god of darkness powers were leaving him. But he didn't look sad. He let out a malvolent and impatient chuckle.
This is a break-in. Soon that which my brother and I were so afraid of will happen.
Sifamalam laughed again. He's gone mad. He's always been mad. This is interesting. If even Sifamalam is scared, what is this? What is gonna be unleashed?
I'll help you defeat them when the time is right. I'll help my boy because he's so eager to kill me.
Malbonte said, stay out of my head. Sifamalam turned to me as if just noticing me. I tried to run, but my legs felt unsteady and the road was endless. I felt I was being dragged toward the abyss of darkness until I was awoken by my own scream. Well, we're innocent, we did nothing. Ah! There was nobody there. In contrast to the impenetrable night, the white that surrounded me was blinding. Sifa. I rubbed my eyes, brushed off the fatigue, and listened. Something was wrong. Something bad was creeping up from somewhere outside the sterile, empty room. Uh-oh. Something terrible was happening to someone connected to me. Oh no! It's Malbonte! I keep on saying it's Malbonte. The only person that we ever had a connection to was Malbonte. Even if you are not his root, you are connected to him. That connection can't just be severed. My palms were burning and nausea was rising in my throat. Malbonte! I knew it! Malbonte, something's happening to him. Oh no! See what's happened to suppress the anxiety? Are you kidding me? See what happened. Show me what happened to my soulmate. Oh, what is this? Somewhere in heaven. Several figures landed on a floating island. They stopped at a field with a circle, and several ancient symbols seared into it. Heat emanated from the ground as if the fire was still blazing, scorching the grass. There was nothing in the field, and yet anyone who set foot there could feel a heavy, oppressive aura. Christopher and Astaroth stood under a tree at a short distance. No, I'm sorry, but this is way too intriguing for me. I'm sorry. We could have seen Astaroth in the cell. Honestly, at this point, I'm gonna replay episode 5 just to see this. Malbonte stayed in the very center as a key figure in the upcoming events. The horsemen stood in a semicircle, each next to the sign of their seal scorched into the ground. Christopher could barely restrain his excitement as he watched it all. Soon he'd be in Malbonte's place. Astaroth chuckled, looking at his brother. Malbonte appeared calm. He didn't seem to care at all about the process. Process of what? His composure gave the impression of a stone statue's carved face. It made him look cruel, and that made Christopher uncomfortable. Hunger irritably looked around and sighed impatiently, as if he wanted to be finished there as soon as possible and return to his lair somewhere in the abandoned wing of the academy. Plague approached Malbonte, held out the once-lost ancient book of life in her hands, and said, "Begin." Oh no. He's the one that has to receive it all. Okay. Malbonte took a deep breath. It was the only thing that somehow betrayed his excitement. He touched the book and let out a stifled cry. His veins pulsed as if something from the book was making its way through his body. No! No! Is he taking darkness in? Wait, no. We're ending the episode. The wind rose, ripping the leaves from the tree branches and making them swirl. Malbonte's eyes burned, his wings trembled. Plague lifted her chin, smiling nervously. Hunger lit a cigarette. He still didn't care. Honestly, I love Hunger. He just does not care. He just stands there. He's like, he's going through his midlife crisis. Alright, fine, then I'm just gonna lit a cigarette. War watched the process closely. Malbonte's agony seemed to last for ages. And then one of the seals finally opened. The ground trembled. Plague returned to her place near her brothers, and Malbonte approached Christopher and Astaroth. There was a drop of sweat on Malbonte's temple. Oh, Christopher! Christopher is so cute. He's like, how are you? No, Christopher.
How are you?
I cannot. Honestly, Malbonte will always be my favorite. Like, no pun intended. That's literally Malbonte saying, you do not want to test me right now. Malbonte ignored the question, keeping an eye on the field. Your relationship with Malbonte is growing strong. Yes! Let us go with Heaven's secret again. Your connection to Malbonte is growing stronger. There was a rumble in the sky. Red flashes flared up and immediately disappeared. And then the sky seemed to tear apart, leaving a huge black hole. Oh my god. They're bringing death to them. Oh my god. Honestly, I have respect. Wow. Okay. I have respect for the Alice. I have respect for her. A figure slowly emerged from the portal. So technically, Malbonte opened the next seal, and they needed that to bring death to them. His face is interesting because one side is completely normal, the other side is completely destroyed. I actually do believe that it makes sense, though. Why does it make sense? Because he is still a horseman, and every horseman has two forms, one human form and one god form. He is the god of death, or the horseman of death, however you want to look at it. He brings death, so that means that he actually has to show that he has death inside of him. The part that is disfigured is supposed to show decay, that his flesh is not clean. It will not remain clean forever. Sooner or later, you will have to go through the decay process. Its ghost-like movements were unnaturally smooth and menacing. The air seemed thinner from its appearance. Each of the horsemen bowed their knees and lowered their heads. Blake respectfully but somewhat irritably said, "Welcome, brother." The newly arrived horseman looked patronizingly at all those present. His voice, which rang out a second later, was unemotional and as otherworldly as his appearance, but it was fraught with cold fury and true cruelty.
"Mother is waiting. Let's not waste time."
Malbonte gritted his teeth, never taking his eyes off him. He does not like anything that's going on. He looked at him as if he knew that someday they would clash in battle, and he was analyzing his enemy's weaknesses, but there were none. After all, Death was the oldest and strongest of the horsemen, the third son of the Mother of Life. Wow. The door opened so quietly that I only noticed Hunger when he was standing next to me. I was sitting on the floor immersed in my thoughts and didn't hear his quiet steps. When I saw his shoes, I gave a little scream and scrambled as far back as I could. Hunger took a few steps back, menacingly, like it was something he did all the time. No wonder, his presence weakened even the horseman.
"Did you like my gift?"
"You still left me in here, so no." I realized that he meant Malbonte, but I didn't answer. Okay. No, I didn't. We didn't have much time. But I would have to say I'm grateful because I did see my soulmate, so...
Is there something between you two?
I started a lot of things with a lot of people. I'm so sorry. I started things with Malbonte, I started things with War, I started things with Astaroth, I started things with Lucifer too. People, like, I had 4 options. That already shows everything.
It's amazing that there is someone who means something to him.
Thank you. Hunger chuckled, looking me up and down. I see that as a compliment because Malbonte literally doesn't let anyone in. We're like the only one. That shows everything. What are you up to?
Nothing. I thought it would make you happy.
Right. It'd make me happy if you let me out. The horseman was silent for a while, pondering over something of his own. Then he extended his hand and said,
"Let's go."
"Excuse you? Where to?"
"I'm going to show you something."
"What should I do?" I mean, it's not a kiss, so take his hand. Why not? Why not? Why not? When my fingers touched his open palm, they trembled as if an electric current passed through them. Hunger looked at me strangely. He's not used to people touching him, so why not surprise him? For a moment he seemed quite moved by this, his first touch that didn't inflict pain and weakness. A simple touch between 2 living beings. I said everything there was to say about that, didn't I? Hunger is pleased that you don't shy away from him. I said I was gonna be lenient to let him pass a few things. I didn't say I was gonna give in to him. Malbonte also made that very clear. He is like, good. He's nothing else. I won't let anyone take you away from me anymore. It's over. You're mine now. And do we mind? No, we don't. I stopped at the doorway, not daring to take another step. It seemed like an eternity had passed while I was locked within those 4 walls. A cool breeze was blowing in from the other side. Hundreds of smells were rushing at me, and I could hear the cacophony of the outside world.
Keep up.
Hunger took a step forward as his figure immediately disappeared, swallowed up by the darkness of the corridor. I followed. Where are we?
Oh my god.
Instead of the academy or a dungeon which I expected to see, a completely different image appeared. Are we in his dimension? I had never seen anything like it. An alien world, open and foreign. This reminds me of season 4 of Stranger Things. What is this? A structure made out of flesh, bloody rivers, a pulsating sky. It was all like one living organism. An organic something skinned and exposed. There was a ringing silence and there was no air at all. I tried to breathe, but I couldn't, and that momentarily frightened me.
I better get rid of that habit of breathing, otherwise you'll suffocate.
This isn't a habit.
For an immortal it is.
Hunger thoughtfully spun his bag of cigarettes and put it in his pocket.
It's a pity that you can't smoke here. The fire won't ignite and the cigarettes go out without it.
If there's no air here, how am I hearing your voice?
The sound is in your head. You just don't recognize it. Shall we take a walk?
What is this place?
Our home.
Ooh, I am so good.
The home of our mother of life. Our gods also came from here.
The ground underfoot was vicious. It changed depending on where I stepped, becoming either harder or softer, as if nature itself had consciousness and adjusted to circumstances changed. Several humanoid figures loomed ahead. They turned in our direction and suddenly hurried towards us. They had no skin. It was as if it had been pulled off or turned inside out. Empty eye sockets looked greedily at us. What are they?
Don't be afraid.
Hunger extended his hand and the strange creatures immediately stopped.
We call them cleaners. They absorb everything alien that enters this world.
We slowly moved on. I instinctively stuck close to Hunger, looking around with horror and disgust. Look at this! There was something frightening about it all, something completely alien to human nature. I was trembling at the mere thought of staying there. It was hot, almost stuffy, but not because of the sun. The heat emanated from the walls, the ground, and the rivers in this place. How can the horsemen live here? No wonder they're all so lonely and twisted. I love the fact that she's literally just saying the truth, and it sounds so savage. We came to a cliff overlooking a bloody river. A young woman was standing on the riverbank. Okay. I could see her feminine figure devoid of skin, and even though her exposed bones, tendons, and flesh looked intimidating, something about her was so attractive that it was mesmerizing. She looked like Blake in a different form and resembled a person much more than the creatures we had encountered earlier. The stranger wandered mindlessly along the shore, peering at the horizon for a long time, as if trying to remember who she once was and could no longer become. Who is she? Hunger chuckled.
One named Happy.
Oh!
There's one of those empty shells that the mother of life got right physically, but they all turned out with some kind of internal flaw. Some came out too aggressive, and some went mad as soon as they opened their eyes. Mother pulled their souls out of them, put some particles of awareness, and reason still remained in the shell. One's like they have no personality, but they can pick up the energy of other creatures.
What is she doing here?
She's waiting for war.
Wait, what? Oh, hell no! Malbonte's my soulmate, but war, I have feelings for war too. Do not be here trying to go at my man.
She somehow got attached to him.
As if hearing the horseman's name, Dee turned around and looked toward us, but her gaze was empty. It seemed that she was in a world of her own, not reacting to external stimuli, her arms dangling beside her body like a doll, and her face devoid of even a trace of emotion. If she were suddenly attacked, she wouldn't defend herself. We continued on. My eyes hurt from the abundant red light. I shuddered with every movement. Everything seemed repulsive and dangerous to me. It's very repulsive here. It's making me feel uncomfortable. What's that? I pointed to something shriveled that barely resembled a human body, a body that had melted like wax. It looked like blood clots mixed with flesh. Ew.
The mother of life's first children. They were born dead. Just don't get too close. This creature's drained life force.
Just like you? Hunger pursed his lips and briefly answered.
Maybe.
What about Sif and Sifamelum?
Born later and were the first successful attempts.
Why did you bring me here?
I don't know. I wanted to show you my world.
Do you want us to get to know each other better?
Is that so strange?
A bit. What do you all do all day long?
Time flows differently here than it does in your world. You don't feel it passing, like in a deep, endless sleep. This world is alive. It adapts to the needs of its inhabitants. We can hibernate, but we mostly roam around like those empty-headed shells. War found a girlfriend, D, and he walks along the river with her. Plague is usually around the Mother of Life. Death keeps order. And I live on the mountain and don't go down to the others.
Where's the Mother of Life?
She's not here.
Really? Where is she?
I'll see her when the time is right.
Oh, the time never comes. What's it like to live without being able to get close to anyone? Not being able to hug someone without taking away their strength? He tensed his jaw, but answered calmly, albeit with a bit of annoyance at what he was about to admit.
Lonely. How else?
That. Why do you think Mother made you like this without considering how it would affect you? He smiled wryly.
The one who created everything definitely doesn't care about such trifles. We're all just limbs of her huge body, and to give her what she wants.
And what does she want?
Only Mother knows.
Sorry. You call her Mother, but she doesn't seem like one at all. Though she has similarities to mine. Period. Take Rebecca out.
And what should she be like?
Caring. Sorry. I mean, you expect for your mother to care. Caring, affectionate, and ready to lay down her life for her child. I began to tell him about family, love, and friendship, about how ordinary mortals lived and the fears and dreams that consumed them. I told him about the immortals, their customs, and their vision of life. Hunger listened attentively, asking clarifying questions from time to time. I saw how his empty, perpetually bored eyes lit up with interest, how he tried to hide it and feign indifference. Oh, I feel bad. But everything in his gestures, appeared, and voice betrayed both his modesty, joy at communicating, and his wild disbelief that he could finally talk to someone. Sometimes out of habit, he would step aside as if to let me regain the energy he had drained, but then he would remember it wasn't necessary and shaking his head return. Oh, Hunger. I feel bad for Hunger. I want to hug him. Hunger stared at my face the entire time, still doubting that I didn't feel weak next to him, that it wasn't a lie, some hoax, and that was what was actually possible. Over time, I stopped paying attention to our surroundings and got caught up in the conversation. He differed from Plague and Wars and seemed the least like a horseman. He wasn't interested in their mission. He wasn't disturbed by someone else's power. And his heart didn't desire someone else's grief. It seemed that he regarded his own tragedy with the same irritation and boredom as everything else around him. Life had no meaning. There was no end goal. There was neither fear nor respect for anyone. He was cynical and tired of his own existence. Wow! This made it all the more painful to see the spark of interest in his eyes, like a false hope and illusion of change, a deceptive feeling that the future might be better. Hunger held out his hand.
Let's go.
Where to this time?
Back
to the cell. He took my hand, and the moment he did, the red sky flowed like watercolors being washed off a canvas, revealing the white ceiling once again. We were back in the white room. How did you do that? Hunger let go of my hand and took a few steps back.
It was an illusion. We couldn't really be there. When people are very weak, they find themselves in a borderline state where they can imagine things. It allows me to cast illusions, including on you.
Is that all? Will you leave me here?
What do you want? For me to let you go?
Yes! No one wants to be a prisoner. If you show me respect, we can have a normal talk. Like, it doesn't mean that I have to completely ignore you, but you can't just keep me locked up and expect for me to be happy about it. You're not Malbonte. Let me stop. Hunger stared at me in anticipation of an answer, and when I didn't give him one, he went away. Left alone, I sighed and managed to relax somewhat, but the door swung open again. In his hands was a human board game.
Shall we play?
That would be me, though. Alright, shock me. We sat on the floor opposite each other, and Hunger placed a box in the center. It was awkward and strange to sit in front of him like that, waiting to start the game. He carefully lifted the lid. We looked inside, examining the contents in silence and confusion. Or rather, I was confused, while Hunger seems calm and focused. Honestly, I think this is so cute. I know he has us captive, but I kinda sympathize with him and his struggles. I took out a stack of cards. There was blood on some of them. Where did you get this? Hunger noticed a brown stain on the corner of the cardboard and quietly said,
Among the rubble.
Did you kill the people who owned the game?
I killed a lot of people, but not them.
He unfolded the board and placed the tokens.
Read the rules.
Each player draws a question card. If he answers the question, he can move forward 1 position. If not, he moves backward.
Go ahead.
I cleared my throat, but my voice was still hoarse and shaky when I began to read. How old are you? This seems like a game for kids. I died when I was 21, and now I'm probably 31.
What is it like to die?
Scary and painful. Hunger nodded and took the next card.
What do you love more than anything in the world?
The horseman fell silent. His eyes scanned back and forth over the card as he read over it again.
No one.
That doesn't work. You lose a point.
I'm at the store.
Then you move once, shackle behind the start. I took his token and moved it off the board onto the floor, period. You move backwards.
You're cheating.
No, I'm honest. Not at all. My turn. My card said, what's your favorite color? But instead I pretended to read, how do you deal with loneliness? I hang out with my Oh, I love it. I cannot. She's actually playing him. She's like saying, I'm trying to play you like a fiddle, trying to feel your emotions out. I hang out with my friends. Sometimes you need to trust someone to make life more colorful. Finding a friend isn't hard. You just need to. Hunger tore the card out of my hands and read it. Oh, I love it. And he slowly looked up. I smiled nervously. I decided to make the stupid questions more interesting.
I'm not asking you to be my friend. Each of the horsemen came here for a purpose.
His voice became lifeless again.
Blake wants to prove to Mother that she's worth something. Whereas just a fool looking for any adventure he can get his hands on. Death follows orders. As for me...
He leaned in so close that I smelled that minty scent again, cold and piercing.
I want to know your world better. I want to talk. It doesn't mean anything. We aren't friends.
What are we then?
Nothing.
If we're nothing, then I have to do nothing with you, huh? He tensely gathered the cards on the board.
Enough for today.
When he was at the door, I said to his back, if you destroy us, there will be nothing left but your spooky world where nothing happens. Where there are no living beings with their own consciousness, no games, no communication. Even if you call her the mother of life, she doesn't know anything about life. Hunger stood there listening to me, and when I finished, he silently left the room. We're making him think. You and Hunger are closer, right? Nothing is closer. He came back a few days later, or at least that's how long it seemed to me. I woke up sensing someone's presence in my sleep. The horseman was leaning with his shoulder against the wall and watching me. How many times had he done that? How many times had he come in while I was sleeping? Maybe he was checking if I was alive? Could he be worried that he'd accidentally killed me? I believe that he's capable to do that, but you can't just watch someone every single time they're asleep. That's creepy. Noticing that I opened my eyes, he lit a cigarette.
What are you willing to do to defeat us?
Anything. Path of strength! Keep it in mind, bitch. I'm the path of strength. I will never stop fighting. He took a puff and exhaled smoke, still not taking his eyes off me.
We'll see.
Why are you asking me? Hunger approached me, squatted down so that we were face to face, and said,
Because I'd like you to destroy us.
Me! He put his hand on my head. His touch pierced me with the most intense cold. Now, I can tell you why he said that. He is not having this lifestyle anymore. He has been living like this for his entire life, and he's had it. He wants everything to end. Himself, but also his siblings and the mother. He wants them all to die. He does not want to live a life like this, where the biggest desire he has is to crave someone else's touch. He wants that kind of life to end. Everything went dark before my eyes, the burning cold pain spreading from my head to the rest of my body. What are you doing? I tried to pull away, but hunger held me with his other hand, forcing me to endure the agony without moving too much. I probably lost consciousness because when I woke up, Hunger was already standing near the open door, half turned toward me, looking askance as if he was ashamed. What was that? He took a final puff, almost finishing his cigarette.
Proof the mail was on empty.
His eyes are black.
You can go now.
I slowly got up, swayed, and held on to the wall. Then slowly, step by step, I went towards the exit. Before leaving, I turned to the horseman. We locked eyes. It's been interesting talking to you. I hope this may stay, 'cause you're alive. It's been interesting talking to you. It actually has been, I'm honest. Like, it's been interesting talking to him. Like, he's nothing like his siblings. And while they even war with his nice side, I love war, okay? Malbonte, he's my soulmate. He is always gonna be number one. But I love war as well. Even him with his kind side, with his human side, and us knowing that he has become prisoner of his own impulses, he still is using that mentality. That it has to be like that. That he is a horseman, that this is his duty, and he has to comply. While Hunger, on the other hand, he's like, I know I'm a horseman, but I don't care. I want it to end. I don't care about bringing the mother of life. I don't care about waking up the mother of life. I want it to end. I want to die. I want my siblings to die, and I want her to die as well. He's interesting. But the fact that he's shook. What? You found common ground. That's cute. I ran headlong into the darkness before he could respond. He's interesting. Who thinks he's interesting, people? Raise your hand. I recognized where I was only when the moon crept from behind the clouds and illuminated the academy hallway. Yes! Hunger was keeping me here all this time, but I don't remember those rooms. Were they an illusion too? Wasting no time, I jumped over the railing and spread my wings to take off, but I was overcome by dizziness again. And she's gonna fall down. Let's go. I'm gonna stop. Hitting my shoulder against the academy wall, I spun and took a blow to my back, this time so hard that it knocked the air out of my lungs. I fell to the ground, feeling uncontrollably terrified of being caught. Path of strength! But I suppressed the consuming fear and forced myself to calm down. Something's wrong. I heard voices. I managed to crawl into the shadows and hide behind a column so that I wouldn't be seen. My heart was beating so loudly that I almost couldn't hear anything, but my body didn't succumb to the fear that my surroundings inspired. I took control of myself, and then he appeared. The horseman of death slowly crossed the yard. Plague hurried along behind him with a stiff, frightened smile. I couldn't tear my eyes away from death, from his cruel face molded by the suffering of those nearby. I sprawled on the ground in panic and fright, looking at him in despair. After all, everyone who meets him understands. No one is capable of coping with the seething, deadly energy that bursts from the fourth horseman of the apocalypse. Of course! That's where they ended, of course. Are we surprised? No, we shouldn't be at this point. This episode was insanely long. And I'm not happy with the fact that we only got like 5 minutes of Malbonte. I'm just saying. But he's interesting. Hunger is interesting. And I want to see him around. I really do. And I'm intrigued to know how Death is gonna act towards us. But well, that was it for today. Tell me in the comments below what you think was best. And I will see you in another video. Bye.